Well, I am excited for a multitude of reasons. First off, I finally got a new laptop. Not anything crazy powerful, just an Acer Nitro 5, so it's slightly better than your average laptop. So now I can finally record properly and get better quality videos. I finally got my mic set up, and I'm hoping that the overall quality of my videos will get better because of the better computer. I also have this new background, as you can see. That's an option for when I use Screencast-O-Matic, which is what I use for screen capturing and editing. But I'm not going to be showing my face a lot on videos. I just wanted to this one time. I'm also excited because the latest episode of The Last of Us came out 2 days early because of the Super Bowl happening this Sunday, which I had no clue about because I don't care about football whatsoever. No offense. But cool, we got to see it 2 days early, so now here's my review coming up. And another amazing episode. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that regular YouTube thingies that would really help me out, because my channel's still really new, but I'm really into the video game adaptation stuff. It's exciting to me and it's blowing up, and The Last of Us is definitely going to change the face of that. So let's get going. And yes, the episode opens up with kind of not a riot in some way, but people downtown. This is actually downtown Calgary, this location. I think most of this is real. But I'm not I keep doing that, I can't help it, because I live in Calgary and I was going to some of these locations, so seeing it on film or on the show after they did it is pretty cool. But this little moment is actually kind of brutal. I was watching it and I was kind of surprised at how brutal it was, because it's just people attacking people. And it was pretty hardcore, I'm not gonna lie. There's even like a moment where a dude gets hung, and I remember seeing behind the scenes of that. And I'm pretty sure it was the daytime when they did it, so it seemed like it was the daytime. Actually, I believe the daytime was a dry run. Yeah, there's a guy being hung. The daytime was like a dry run of how it would look out, but yeah. And then just more of Fedra being Fedra, and then the resistance. But this episode's a lot about Sam and Henry. Yeah, pretty surprisingly brutal with the opening. You know, I shouldn't be surprised, but I guess I was in a way. I guess one of the first interesting changes that they made from the game to the show is this guy right here. Sam. That's Henry's older brother, and that's Sam. And in the show they made him deaf, but only because this actor, whose name escapes me because I don't know who he is, he's actually deaf in real life. So that's pretty cool. I guess maybe they found him to be the best actor for the role, and he happened to be deaf, so they decided to make him deaf, which doesn't really add a whole lot, I don't think. It doesn't add really that much. At first, I just thought they were not talking so they won't get their position away. So maybe they just always speak silently so they don't have to talk and get caught. But turns out this child actor, who's really good, they're both excellent. He's actually deaf in real life, so they just made the character deaf. But that in the game, he's not deaf. So that was a really interesting change that they made based on who they cast. Now we have some slightly more development of Catherine, played by Melanie Lynskey, who's been around for quite a while now. She almost always plays Americans, even though she's from New Zealand or Australia. I think it's New Zealand. And you know, a bit more development of her and her viciousness, her like showing how that she basically just wants to get out. She wants to find Henry because Henry ratted out her brother, and her brother died because he was also a leader of the resistance, kind of like the co-leader. So more development of her backstory and whatnot, and just showing how kind of vicious she is, but at the same time, I like Melanie Lynskey as an actress, but she doesn't totally pull off the like pure evilness. And spoiler alert, she doesn't last long. She doesn't last this episode. So she's only been on the show for 2 episodes and she's already dead. So HBO is just doing the usual, like, you think these people are a part of the show, but no, we kill them off next episode kind of thing. But also some good development with Perry and his, played by Jeffrey Pierce, who would play Tommy in the game, but his kind of reluctance. He has this reluctance about him in everything he does, which is really great. Like, he just, on his face and how he reacts to what she says, like, there's always a reluctance there, even though he still does like all the awful shit that she asked him to do. And this guy over here, whose name I forgot because he was in last episode but he died, but he's helping them out. Sam and Henry in this little hiding spot that they stayed in, but only because they stayed in for a while, but then they had to leave because they ran out of food. But I like this little thingy they use, like the, almost not like an etch-a-sketch, but I forget what you call these because I used to play with these things too, like a how to draw, and then you can remove it. So it was a smart addition to, like, you know, I mean, they had to completely add this in because of the actor being deaf. So that was really cool that they completely added this because it's not from the game. The kid isn't deaf in the game. So this is all brand new as well, but also a really cool addition to the world and, you know, a way of communicating silently. And it's also a thing that Ellie does herself later on when they meet. And any noises you hear in the background is my cat running around my apartment. Then a good moment here with Sam and Henry just hanging out in this location for a few days. You can see that Sam likes to draw. It helps him. It's just a thing he does to pass time, which any kid would do at that age, regardless of what's happening. He's been drawing on the walls and whatnot. Drawing himself as a superhero. I don't know if superheroes are as big as a deal in this world, you know. This is a made-up world, so who knows if the MCU even exists. No, I don't think it doesn't. They invent their own comics, because later on they find a comic. Right, in this moment here, at like 16-ish minutes into the episode, which I would say for an episode that's 59 minutes long, an hour-long video episode at least. Hour-long-ish, you know, minus the intro and outro. This would be around the beginning of the second act, where he meets Joel and Ellie at the top of this building that they both went in. But they almost immediately decide that we shouldn't kill each other, we should try to work together, which is a smart choice. Yeah, so it doesn't take long for them to decide that they're not really enemies and they should just try to work together. And by now, Henry painted Sam's face to kind of look like the superhero character that he has created for himself to help him deal with the situation. And a good little moment here where Joel gives them like the rest of their food, because food is scarce, but he was good enough to like give them what he had. And then this moment here in some office building, I guess they're just kind of working out a plan of how to get out of Kansas City, because they're still in Kansas City and they're just trying to move on. Joel and Ellie are just trying to continue on to Wyoming. In this moment here where they're downtown, I think I remember seeing some behind the scenes of these actors out on the street. But here they're just coming and walking in through a building. I don't know, some of these chairs over here don't really look like they were distressed enough. Some of it looks a little bit too shiny. Like there's lots of stuff on the ground, like dirt and leaves. There's leaves everywhere. They have tons of leaves. But some of this looks a little bit too newish. Like these are probably the exact chairs that they have in this little lobby here. Not that I know this building, but there's so many buildings downtown in Calgary like this, so it's familiar to me. Then this cool little moment where they find like a daycare, I guess for a lot of people who just kind of found places to hide and stayed there and didn't go anywhere. So this little great moment where they find this daycare, which I don't remember from the game if that's in there or not, because I only really played the game once all the way through, so I don't remember it that well. But it was nice to see how Ellie and Sam had a friend, like because they're both like desperate for like friends, and they connected immediately over just being younger and wanting to be kids and not really wanting to deal with the horribleness that's happening in their world. Yes, them playing around some more was just nice to see. a nice little moment for both of them. But so, of course, Henry and Joel are just kind of watching them, knowing like, yeah, it's not gonna last. This moment here was a bit much, with Melanie Lynskey kind of going off on a little tirade of like, this is exactly what happened and why I have to kill Henry, kind of thing. Like, I guess we didn't know in the previous episode what exactly Henry did, but now we learn that he ratted out her brother, and that's why he died, and that's why she just wants revenge. You know, like most people, everyone in this show basically just wants revenge. I mean, it's the overall moral question, the series of like, what is evil? Is it evil to kill someone who killed a loved one? Is revenge evil? You know, like, what is evil? That's like the overall theme of the entire show. At least that's what I would say. I mean, I don't know if that's what Craig Mazin or Neil Druckmann would say, but personally, I would say the overall theme of the entire series is what is evil. And again, Perry just having that perfect reluctance on his face at all times of like, should I be doing this? Like, is this right? Is this woman right? But at the same time, he says, I will follow you to the end, basically. That's what he says. Which is, you know, foreshadowing for later in the episode. Then the best moment of the show for sure is like this episode had a lot of action in it. There wasn't a whole lot of action in the other episodes. This one had like a nice, decent action sequence in it. Them in the city trying to get out, and they're almost there, and then they get sniped at, and then the resistance shows up, and all hell breaks loose. And this moment here in the street with the sniper, definitely reminiscent of the game. Even how the buildings look, and Joel hiding behind the car like that, crouched down. Very much like the game. And this moment here is really great because, like, Joel finds the sniper, and he really doesn't want to have to kill him. But the guy gives him no choice. He's, like, asking him, please don't do it, please. I don't want to have to do this. And then he does it. So, yeah. And then he shoots the dude, and then he takes over sniping, which is, you know... And this pretty dramatic moment here with the resistance... tank or whatever you'd call it. Though Ellie shooting at it is just kind of dumb. Like I kind of feel like she just couldn't wait to shoot at something, because like, what the hell is a handgun gonna do against this giant tank with like a huge scoop in the front of it, or whatever you call it, huge plow in the front of it. But I don't know, at this moment I just kind of feel like maybe Ellie just wants to shoot at anything, and it's a bit of a waste of ammo. Yeah, in this moment here, Ellie's still shooting like a dumbass, wasting ammo. Joel's trying to take out the driver. This part, a little bit like, I don't know, would he really be able to hit him through the window? I mean, why aren't the windows bulletproof? But yeah, he makes a good shot in the dark, takes the guy out, and you know, explosions happen. Gas and sparks equals fire. There's always got to be a fire. Pretty hardcore explosion. Like bits of the stuff are flying right next to the stunt double. Like right here, stunt double, like right next to them. So that's pretty good for them. I mean, the stunts are great. And then Ellie's in the middle of the street, and Sam's trying to help her up, or Henry, sorry. I believe Henry's the older one, Sam's the younger one. I sometimes get that confused. Then of course, Catherine and Perry show up, and they're just calling out Henry, who's like right there. I'm not sure if she knows he's there. She almost kind of is looking at him like she knows he's there, but she's not sure. And then, you know, Henry has that moment of like, what do I do? Should I do it? Should I give myself up? And he's like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. But, you know, yeah, this moment here with the truck digging into the ground, you know, I knew what was going to happen, obviously, from the trailer. But it was just cool to see, because it was a cool little moment of tension, because I knew what was about to happen, and I was excited just to see, like, finally see a giant horde of clickers coming out, and it was really awesome to look at. And then it's kind of this small little lull before the storm, and then boom, they all just come flying out of the ground, and I love it. Yeah, this was like a really cool moment to show the clickers, you know, pure viciousness of like how they're running over, you know, their quote-unquote friends, even though, plus it was a good mixture of different levels of people who've been changed. Like, some of them are completely changed, some of them are only half changed. Like this one right here still looks kind of human, but they're also like literally stepping on each other's heads and killing them because they don't care. They're just trying to get to whoever they can infect. But it's like an even more vicious level of clicker that in the game, they weren't even that crazy. They were like, they would come at you, but they wouldn't come at you like this. And then of course the giant bloater, which was really cool to see just coming out of the ground. I mean, I kind of wish, I mean, it's a really great trailer moment, but I almost wish they didn't put it in just because so it would be a total surprise. But it was still really awesome to see this huge bloater clicker just coming out and destroying everyone. Like, some of it is computer graphics, some of it is a guy in a suit. I saw a little thing online, I didn't even look it up, I just happened to see it, about some guy in the suit who played the clicker. And they're just like, yeah, there's not much we can do with this guy. And Perry's done. Like, so much for Perry, he's gone. He straight up sacrifices himself for her, which, I don't know, they never really got into the development of why Perry was so willing to do that, but he's done. Head ripped off, just like in the game. Meanwhile, Ellie and Sam and Henry are trapped. And this really cool moment where Ellie just gets into the nearest car, and then this other kind of new type of clicker that maybe was in the game, I don't know, but it was a lot more limber and gymnastic-y, you know, creepy, jumpy things. I don't remember if there was like a clicker that was like, would jump around like that, but it was still like vicious and frightening. Now, some parts of this with Joel up here shooting, it almost doesn't seem 100% believable that he would just be like shooting from there through the vehicle. But I guess the whole time his eyes are just on Ellie and nothing else really. And then this moment right here where Catherine's probably about to kill Henry, and then this freaky clicker, female clicker I guess, that attacked Ellie is now coming at her, and she's done for. That's it for Catherine. I guess they don't really straight up show that she's dead, but this thing jumped on her and pounded her head in. Like, yeah, the way it just came at her and just pounded on her head. At the same time, it doesn't really even make that much sense in terms of the clickers and their purpose, because it's all just a fungus that's trying to spread. So at the same time, you know, why do they rip people's heads off? I thought they all just really wanted to bite other hosts and spread the fungus and making it more dramatic and action-oriented for the show. But Ellie is terrified. She's seeing so much insane shit right now, so she doesn't know what to think anymore. So yeah, in this moment here with Ellie and Sam, and in the game I can barely remember the Sam and Henry moment, because it's a pretty short moment that doesn't last that long, like maybe an hour or 2 hours of the game. So I didn't remember if what happened here happened in the game, but it did. But yeah, Sam reveals that he's been bitten on the leg, and then Ellie thinks it was an interesting idea that, again, I don't remember if that was in a game, but Ellie thinks that maybe if she puts her blood on his cut, it'll heal it. But no, not the case. Yeah, not the case. She wakes up. She was trying to stay awake. She didn't make it. Wakes up, and Sam is just sitting there on the bed, and we're wondering, is he good? Is he good? Is he good? Turns out, no, he's not good. Rawr. Yeah, he's vicious. He just comes at them like a crazy person. Yeah, this moment was like, actually watching this for the first time last night, my mouth was agape. I was kind of like, damn, like, they just went for it. Like, the viciousness, there's just no holding back. And like, yeah, this moment here between Sam and Joel where she's trying to just they both run for the gun, and Sam gets it first. Henry, sorry. I get them confused. Yeah, but a pretty hardcore moment where Henry shoots his own brother, and then immediately he's like, what did I do? And you're not really sure what Henry is thinking when he does that. Like, is it kind of because it's kind of a knee-jerk response almost. Like, he doesn't almost seem to be thinking about it. Like, should I do this? He's my brother. He just does it. But, you know, what else can he do? There's no going back. But yeah, a really dramatic, upsetting moment. Like, genuinely upsetting. Thinking of a guy killing his younger brother. And again, this was in the game too, but I don't remember it at all. I honestly don't. I thought this was all made up, because I don't remember what happened. But yeah, what happens here is pretty brutal. And I knew it was coming, even though I don't remember it from the game. I knew that Henry would just turn the gun on himself. It sucks, but it's a really dark, low moment. But yeah, seeing Ellie's face in that moment was pretty brutal as well. Like Bella's acting gets better every episode. Again, she's still like the biggest surprise, just in terms of how good she is overall. So yeah, a really upsetting moment, and Joel was even trying to like help Henry and like telling him, "Give me the gun, don't do it." But Henry didn't see any reason to continue living anymore, I guess. And then this moment here, which was a big moment from the trailer, when the first real official trailer came out, this was like the opening image, and I was always curious to see what part of the show it was in, and here it is. It's like he's just staring at these graves, and Ellie's already leaving, and now suddenly she's leading Joel, like, come on, let's go, we can't mess around anymore. So it's an interesting shift in their characters. It was like what Ellie just witnessed and experienced has hardened her so much already, and suddenly Joel is becoming like, he's becoming not weaker, he's just becoming softer in terms of the harsh realities of this world and what he has to deal with. It also kind of reminds me of the burying moment in Logan, where Logan buries Charles. It's a really amazing movie. But yeah, this moment here where Ellie is kind of leading Joel, at least in this moment, where she's just like, hey, come on, let's go. Like, we can't just wait around. But I guess it's reminiscent of him burying his daughter. I can't remember if he did that or not. If he buried his own daughter, or she just died and he had to take off. They cut that moment out, like in the show, so they didn't. I'm assuming he probably buried her. But and then, yes, of course, the final image of them walking off, which is kind of almost iconic, similar to the opening titles, where it shows the cordyceps forming, Joel and Ellie walking off, and here they are kind of walking off together. This is like the first image from the show. I mean, we're at episode 5, so there's 4 episodes left, so we're past the midpoint of the season. And here they are, they're starting to grow closer, even though this episode, they didn't develop their relationship that much. But shared experiences is what helps people grow together, and they just experience some really hardcore shit. So here they are walking off, heading towards Wyoming. Yeah, so yeah, another amazing episode. Another, every episode is better or as good as the last episode. I mean, I wonder, I would say this maybe is the best one yet. Every time it is the best one. But I mean, the amount of action they had was great. They haven't had an episode this action-packed yet. And being able to see Ellie growing more, but also experiencing more, and Joel in action as a sniper and his abilities as a protector for Ellie. And it's also cool that I got to see it 2 days early because of the Super Bowl. So tomorrow, when it's time to watch the episode, who knows, maybe I'll just watch it again, because I always watch the episodes twice. But once again, thank you for watching. Thanks if you actually watched this review and went all the way through it. Thanks. That would be really cool of you if you could like it or subscribe, share and whatnot, or give me your thoughts below in the comments. But I'll see you again in a week when episode 6 comes out next Sunday. So I have more than a week to wait now, which is a bit of a bummer, but the wait is always worth it. Thanks so much for watching.